Welcome back to the Morning Line here on TVG. We are now pleased to be joined by Hall of Famer King Leatherbury, who joins us by way of telephone. King, good morning. It's a great pleasure to have you on the phone, and it's a great pleasure not to say any longer a man who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, just strictly Hall of Famer, and I'm sure that feels good for you as well.
Thank you, guys. It's my pleasure to be with you.
King, you're getting ready to set out Ben's Cat. He's looking for his 4th win in the Fabulous Strike at Penn National, but Maddie and I were just discussing during the break, this has got to be one of the toughest fields that he's taken on over the last couple of years, right?
Absolutely, it is. You got a Breeders' Cup horse in there that might have probably should have won the Breeders' Cup, but anyhow, it is, and this is shocking to see this kind of caliber of horses in here. The toughest race that this Fabulous Strike has been, there's no question about that.
I mean, there's so many incredible traits for Ben's Cat that makes him a great horse. Obviously, the longevity, the staying healthy. But you look at his record, 19 for 36 turf. Oh, it's a wet surface, 4 for 5 with a second-place effort. We're looking at the earnings close to $2.5 million. Penn National, 3 for 4, 7 for 11 on a fast dirt track. Is it his versatility and durability in combination that has really made him the truly great horse that he is?
Yes, there's no question about that. And but for some reason, he likes that Penn National track. I mean, that's his last year when he won the Fabulous Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on our sheets that we use to evaluate horses and their performances, that was the fastest number he had ever gotten. And there he was, an 8-year-old last year, coming up with his fastest number of his life. It's absolutely incredible.
What's he like in the morning now, Ben's Cat? I see he works 47 and 3.
Yeah, no, he had a super work the other morning. He's sharp. Couldn't hold him on the ground this morning. And no, you'd never know that he was approaching, 2 months away from being 10 years old.
Well, that's part of the conversation. I mean, we know how good he has been, and I know the word retirement is probably not a word that is used very often in the King Leatherbury household. But, is he gonna carry on? Are we gonna see him at the age of 10? What's the game plan? Is it just to keep him going as long as he's in the mood to continue to put performances forth?
Yes. Now, I'm definitely bringing him back as a 10-year-old. But the only problem I have is, do I ever kind of drop him in class? I can't do that because it looks bad. I'm going to get a bad mark with people if I start laying him in there for 25,000 or something like that. I'm talking as an 11-year-old now, of course.
I want to turn the conversation a bit from Ben's Cat to you, sir. Do you have time still? Obviously, you're still so busy. You're getting ready for big races, getting ready for Ben's Cat again on Wednesday. Do you ever have time to sit back and go, wow, I'm in the Hall of Fame? We showed your graphic a moment ago. It is mind-boggling. 52 training titles in Maryland in 56 years. Do you have time just to sit down and appreciate that, or is that something that you're going to do after you finally retire?
You know what? I look back on things, and then I worry, did I really appreciate them enough when they happened? I took so much for granted in the past, and then I look back on it. Back when I was winning 5 races in one day and all that, and I didn't seem to, I say this, I don't know how to say it, but I didn't seem to appreciate it that much. At the time, I look back on it and I said, how did I do that? And I some of the years I really didn't have that good a help, and my assistants were good. I mean, they do what I told them, but they weren't great horsemen. But still, we got the job done, and we won races, and so I don't know. It's all gone by so fast. I feel like I kind of died a few years ago, and then Ben's Cat resurrected me. and it was because of him that I got, I think, in the Hall of Fame.
I was just going to ask you that, King. I mean, I think it speaks to the shallowness of the mindset of those that vote for the Hall of Fame, for it to take one horse to get an individual into horse racing's Hall of Fame, as opposed to taking a look, for example, what's on the screen. Forget about Ben's Cat,
Right.
52 training titles, the over 6,000 victories, where you stand amongst the greats. But you're right. I mean, if it wasn't for Ben's Cat, it likely not going to end up in the Hall of Fame, which is a shame. And I mean, a man like Dale Baird sits in that same situation as you did for so many years, the late, great Dale Baird. With Ben's Cat, is there a spot, in your honest opinion, for him in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it. He didn't knock off enough big ones. But he's certainly, in Maryland, he's the most popular horse that's been around here in many, many years.
Well, King, you're 82 years old. This is something that I found out, and I was excited about this. I was looking at your bio on the Saratoga Springs Horse Racing Hall of Fame.
You guys share something, right,
We
Scotty?
share something, King, and we've met. We sat down for 30 minutes plus at Pimlico during a Preakness weekend. You and I have the exact same birthday, March 26. You were born in 1933, King. I was born in 1982.
How about that? Well, that's fantastic, and you're just now finding out about it.
I know. I don't know what took so long, King.
You guys have exchanged numbers and call one another and wish each other a happy birthday on March 26th.
I'm typically in Dubai, though. I've spent the last 7 years of my birthdays in Dubai, King Leatherbury, covering racing over there. So if you'll accept a collect call from Dubai, then I'll call you to wish you a happy birthday. Okay?
All right, that's good.
All right, so in closing, we've talked a lot about you. We've talked about Ben's Cat. You're expecting a good performance. You always are. You always get an honest performance from Ben's Cat.
Yeah, I don't expect to beat Fabulous Kid, but this is horse racing. Anything can happen. You got that that's Charlie horse in there, Scarly Charlie.
Yeah.
I think he's going to run in New York, though.
Okay. And you got Favorite Tale, who was third in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Favorite Tale. No, I meant to say Favorite Tale. I said Fabulous Kid.
Okay.
Favorite Tale seems to be unbeatable in there. Fabulous Kid is a contender, and I'm a contender.
You're always a contender, King. We know that, and so is Ben's Cat. He's one of the coolest horses that we have grown to appreciate racing over the last several years. If you've ever seen him race in person, what I love about him, King, is that when he gets his picture taken, he just sort of walks off like business as usual.
No, he knows. He knows it. He poses. It was we had some function here about a month ago, and it was somebody had taken a picture of him, and they put it in a silent auction. I think it brought about $100, and he was standing there. He was on the track. He wasn't in the winner's circle or anything. He had turned his head toward the camera, and he literally just posed. And some person caught it, and he put it in the auction sale.
Well, he's got it figured out, as have you, for many, many decades, and you're a man that has forgotten more than most will ever know about this game of thoroughbred horse racing. One other interesting thing, just of you personally, I was telling this yesterday to some of the folks here in the production crew. How many neckties do you own, King Leatherbury?
Oh, man, like 300.
300.
But see, I started this. I didn't start it. Chris Lincoln gave me, years and years ago, I saw Chris Lincoln, and I said, man, that's a good-looking tie. He said, you like this tie? I took it off and gave it to him. And then from that time on, and that was a horse tie. Of course, I had many ties, but the horse tie had to be a horse tie. So then everybody, my wife, my kids, and everybody started getting, every birthday, Christmas, I get all these horse ties. And then it was around the track. I've noticed now other horsemen, other trainers are starting to wear horse ties.
Copycats.
And I tell them, I said, I started that years ago. Nobody wore horse ties. And now you'd be surprised. You walk through Maryland here and see people with ties on, all got horses on.
Are you superstitious? Do you have a certain tie you wear when Ben's Cat does his thing?
No, you know what? My son's girlfriend had made a tie. She took a snapshot. He was in the paddock up at Parks. She took a snapshot of him, and then she took his head, and unbeknownst to me, had made a tie of it with his. It's about 10 of his heads all blended together. Really attractive thing, and it made a nice tie out of it, and had the orange, my colors on there, orange and black and white. So I wear that for all his Ben's Cat. That's the only time I wear that tie is
Very
on
cool.
Ben's Cat Day. I'll be wearing it Wednesday
Okay.
night.
Well, here's to hoping to see that tie in the winner's circle at Penn National, King Leatherbury. We thank you so much for the time this morning.
Great chatting with
We
you.
could spend hours chatting with you, about racing, about your life, your career. We appreciate it, and best luck with Ben's Cat, and we look forward to seeing him again
luck.
next year at the age of 10.
But a compliment back to you guys, too. You do a great job on the show. You really do, both of you.
Well, that means a lot.
Thank you.
King
Thank you.
Leatherbury.
All right.
One of the all-time
Thanks.
legends in the game of thoroughbred horse racing, a Hall of Famer, known for his work with Ben's Cat. Ben's Cat running again on Wednesday, looking for his fourth consecutive win in the Fabulous Strike, and he comes into this race with 25 stakes victories, an absurd number.